Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be playing with some of the newer products you guys saw me haul recently in my crazy haul video that I just did. If you watched that, if you didn't, I will link it above so you guys can check out all of the stuff that I've hauled over the past 3 months. It's out there, okay? It's a little overwhelming. But I decided to pick some of the products that I hauled from my Sephora VIB sale purchase. I typically don't go all out when it comes to buying stuff from Sephora because Sephora is a little bit more on like the bougie side. Stuff's really expensive. So I don't really buy like large purchases from there unless they have a sale going on. Now when you think of it in the grand scheme of things, 20% off is really not that fantastic of a deal, but it's definitely better than nothing. So I've got everything for a full face in front of me that's brand new, I think, except for eyeshadow. I did buy eyeshadow from Ulta recently that I could have worn today, but I'm wearing like camo pants and like a cream top, so I didn't want to use like a bright red eyeshadow because I don't think that would have gone very well. So not really sure what I'm going to dip into for that, but for the base makeup and everything else, it's going to be brand new products from Sephora. So if you guys like these types of videos where we're trying out all new products, full face of new makeup, be sure to like this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, but you enjoy makeup and beauty content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button before you leave today. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss future uploads. Let's get into this try on. So I used the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Pore Refiner Primer just because it's something that I know works well for me. Now I'm going to go into my Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation. So this is newer to me. I have not used this yet. This is I just like to throw things on my channel. This is going to be a first impression for me. This is a $40 foundation. It has 34 shades from what I can tell. It says it's a full coverage, transfer proof, oxidation resistant foundation that lasts for up to 16 hours with a natural looking matte finish. I got mine in the shade Mont Blanc Light 2. This is the same shade that I grabbed in my Radiant foundation from Nars, and I just figured it would be comparable. So we're gonna find out because I haven't tried it yet. I kind of don't like the squeezy tube aspect. I just feel like when you're paying $40 for a foundation, it should come in a glass bottle. That's just my personal opinion. People might not agree with that. That's how I feel. It says this is good for normal, dry, combination, and oily. So for all skin types. Oh, highlighted ingredients are microalgae and biohyaluronic acid that helps absorb excess sebum. I kind of like that. Oil absorbing powders. I mean, this sounds like a dream come true. It says dispense a small amount on the back of your hand. 1 drop delivers full coverage with fingertip application. Oh, I don't want to use my finger. Pat product with fingertips. Start at the center of the face and gently press the foundation on skin. Use a stippling motion to blend it outward. I don't like using my fingers for my foundation. I'm past that. That was like Michelle circa 2012. I don't want to do that. I kind of want to use a brush. So I'm going to bend the rules a little bit. We're going to use my Love is the Foundation brush from IT Cosmetics. Love this brush. She my friend. And we're going to go ahead and start applying this. Ooh, I like the color already. It's very neutral. I want to kind of use it sparingly because I know with any matte foundation, it can start to look really cakey and heavy if you put too much on. So we're going to start small and build up if necessary. Kind of spread it out as much as possible here. Especially on the forehead area. That's where I want to kind of keep it as light as I can in this area. And I've got those crazy smile lines since I'm so happy all the time. That was a joke. Well, it blended out really nicely and I really like that color. I like that shade match for me. I'm not good at shade matching, so it could look totally off, but for me, it works. We're going to go in with another little squeeze. Can't say pump. I would say this color is very similar to the one that I have in the Radiant formula, which would make sense since it's supposed to be the same shade. Ah, I just pulled a nose hair and it hurt really bad. Thought it was a bug. It wasn't. Oh, made my eyes water. Oh. I don't like the squeezy tube. I think it just cheapens it. I would say it definitely has good coverage to it. It's covering up all that redness and the discoloration that I have. I can already see it settling in my lines pretty badly, but that happens with every foundation. And you guys have heard me say that, I'm sure, a million times if you've been here for a while. It's just kind of messy with this little squeezy tube. I don't like that. I don't know if it's oxidized or what's going on. Maybe a little bit. I'm going to squirt some on my hand and just see how bad this oxidizes. Now, I'm just going to say this off the top, and this goes for just about every matte foundation I've used. If you have very textured skin, if you have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles, this is going to kind of emphasize that stuff, those concerns. And it doesn't feel heavy. Like, I don't feel like I'm wearing a mask or anything, so that's really good. All right, so now that I have the base makeup laid down, I'm going to go in with my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. This is another newer product to me. It's just a peach under eye corrector. I've been wanting this for a really long time. Finally decided to take the plunge. I think I tried this yesterday, but we're going to try it again today. I feel like in order to really get to know a product, you need to use it at least a few times. I've just got like a little dab of it there on my finger, and I'm going to tap it underneath the eye. Ooh, that might have been a little bit. Might have been a little too much. I'm also going to push it up towards this way because I've got darkness right here in the corner of my eye. I just wanted to show you the difference between the two sides here. So you can see it definitely brightened it just a little bit, and it covered up some of the purple. I think it looks like it's more covered on camera than it actually is in real life. This stuff has kind of like this luminosity to it that I didn't know it had. And when I looked it back up on the website after I bought it, I realized it says that in the description. I just don't read. I just don't pay attention. It definitely brightens, and it says that's what it's supposed to be, is a brightening under eye corrector. So it brightens, it just doesn't hide all of the purple, which the purple we can hide with concealer. So I don't really say this is a standalone product. I would say that you're supposed to put a concealer over top. That's just my personal opinion. Both times I've used this, I'm going to do that today, and that's what I did the other day, and it turned out okay. This stuff is rather sticky. It's like emollient. So I would say if your foundation's laid down, just be a little careful. Because I feel like if you keep blending around that area, you're going to end up picking up some of that foundation. Especially if it's like a matte foundation like I have on. I don't mind the glowy aspect of it, but I just wish it had more pigment to it. So I do have a new concealer that I want to share with you guys. This one is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. And I have mine in the shade Birch. Before we go any farther, I got to get this foundation off my lips. I can't stand it. I need a good lip scrub. Leave your recommendations down below. Please and thank you. Okay, I just threw some of the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm over top my lips to bring back some moisture because they're hella dry. Now let's go ahead and get into this Hourglass Concealer. So I have tried this a couple times. Oh, I wanted to see if that, hold on, before we go any further, does this foundation oxidize? So that's been sitting on my hand now for about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. I'm going to put another swatch right next to it of, newly squeezed foundation. And let's see. Oh, definitely. So there's the difference between the two. So the top one is the one I just squeezed out. I know you guys are getting tired of hearing me say that. And the bottom is after it's dried for about 5 minutes. It definitely oxidizes more of a peachy color. So just know that if you decide to pick up this Nars foundation, I would recommend going at least a shade, if not two, lighter than what you think you're going to be, because it's going to oxidize. All right, I'm going to place a little bit of this right here. I don't want to go too crazy with it. And then some out here. If you guys know where I got this technique from, comment down below. And I'm going to take my dry beauty blender. This is typically how I like to blend out my concealer. I feel like it keeps the most amount of pigment, and I need it. I need all the pigment. This definitely has more of like a yellow tint to it. I thought it was going to be more neutral, but it's definitely leaning yellow. And it didn't blend out very well. Like I tried to blend that this way, and it just didn't. We're going to have to fill in here, I guess. Because, yeah. It's a very thick consistency. And it's pretty pigmented, y'all. Okay. I don't know if that was a mistake. We're going to have to really do some work here to make this look better. That was my fault. User error. I don't know. It's wigging me out. I'm hoping once I get the rest of my base laid down, this won't look so crazy. Because right now, your girl looks crazy. Okay, for my eyelids, I'm going to be using the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base. Mine is in the shade Fair. And this kind of looks like a concealer. It's a really thick consistency. And it'll cover up all that purple if you have any on your lids, veins, anything like that that you're trying to hide. The Clean Canvas Base has got you. It's got you covered. I also kind of drag this in that corner here to cover up that purple even more. It does help with that. And if you're planning on blending shadow in that area, it's good to do that anyway. Let's go ahead and try the next product. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I am so stoked to try this. If you've been watching beauty videos for a while, you've probably heard people rave about this powder. I've got mine in the shade One Fair. First of all, the packaging. Charlotte has some bougie packaging. I personally love it. There's the inside. It's just luxe. It's what you would expect when you're spending an arm and a leg for powder. One of the brushes that I really love to set my face with when I'm not fluffing like loose powder all over. For loose powder, I like to use my Sonya G Face Pro Brush. You guys have probably heard me talk about this over and over again if you've been here for a little bit. But when I'm not using loose powder and I'm using a compact or pressed powder, I like to use my e.l.f. What is this? Their 103 brush. It has a very slanted, dense head up here, and it'll pick up a lot of powder, and it's really good at just kind of like pressing it into the skin. So that's what I'm going to use. She's kind of dirty. Oh, you see that? Holy cow. Oh my God. I mean, it just keeps on coming. Choo choo. I'm trying to fluff some of that out of there because I'm not trying to get the remnants of every other powder I've used in the past 3 months. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just kind of like dip into here pretty heartily. Oh, wow. Okay. Maybe I didn't need to go that ham. I didn't really need to be that aggressive. Okay. And I guess let's just start pushing it in. Swiping it on? I don't know. As many people that rave about this powder, this better be my new best friend. My face looks super smooth. It looked smooth before with just the Nars foundation, but it does look super smooth now. Am I loving this? I don't know. So since I don't have any new brow products to share with you guys, and I typically use the same like 3 or 4 brow products every time I do my brows, I'm going to go ahead and hop off camera and get those done. I'm going to be using the Brow Gal Brow Pencil, the Benefit Gimme Brow, the Urban Decay Brow Blade, and the Lime Crime Bushy Brow. So when I come back, the brows will be filled. So I'm going to go ahead and contour with a little bit of my Scott Barnes contour palette. One of my favorite contour shades right now is the shade Carve up here in the corner. I love the tone of it. It's got this perfect, like, neutral tone. It's not too warm. It's not too cool. It is perfect for my skin tone. Okay, now that I have this contour laid down, we're going to try out the Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker Instant Warmth Bronzer. And I have mine in the shade Into Sun. It's one of their more neutral tones, lighter neutral tones. And I'm excited to try this. I've been wanting this, well, I've been wanting to try it since it first came out. And I just heard so many mixed opinions on it that I kind of held off until now. I'm going to be using my Sonya G Cheek Pro Brush. It is a go-to bronzer brush for me. Okay, there's some pigment there. I'm just going to swirl it on that cheekbone. This one requires a little bit of building, I'm seeing. Which I don't mind that because I'm super heavy-handed with everything that I do. So it's kind of in my favor. So just to show you the difference, this is without the bronzer. And that's with. I think that looks really nice, actually. It's not too warm. I struggle to find a bronzer that's not, like, orange on me. I don't want my bronzer to be orange. I don't mind if it's tan, obviously, but I don't want orange cheeks. I just don't think it's flattering on me. I'm really digging that. It just looks really natural. Not natural, but not unnatural. That makes any kind of sense whatsoever. It's not too heavy. It blends in really well. There's no patchiness about it. I'm really digging that. This is legitimately like the perfect bronzer shade for my skin tone. Now I'm kind of pissed off I waited so long to pick this up. I really, really like this. So for the blush, I grabbed a mini of the Nars Orgasm X blush. This one is more, I would say it's more hot pink than the original one. I did a side-by-side comparison of this one versus the original when I did my haul video. So if you want to see that, go check it out. And this one is just really hot pink in comparison. The other one's a little bit more muted. But I'm excited to put this on my cheeks today, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my Morphe & Jaclyn Hill JH6 brush. Currently, this is one of my favorite blush brushes. Just because it's so floofy up top, it really helps to tone down the blush application. And since I'm so heavy-handed with my blush, this is really helpful for me. Whoa, doggy! Look at the pigment. That's intense. So yeah, we're going to be light-handed. We're going to try to be light-handed. It's not a skill I've mastered yet. I like the Nars blushes just because they have that kind of golden peachy sheen to them. Oh man, that's pretty. And I could probably stop right there. I don't know that I'm going to, but I could. That is beautiful. Oh, I love that so much. I don't know how to not take it overboard with the blush. I've gotten into the habit of doing this too, and I think it just adds something extra. I don't know, but I love it. And I went overboard. I do it literally every time. I cannot help myself. Okay, I'm putting down the blush brush. I think you guys know how I feel about this. This is stunning. Love this. Do not regret picking that up whatsoever. The next product that I'm excited to share with you is the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette. And I grabbed the rose gold one, which looks like that. I'm trying to make this to where it's not all blown out. My lights are kind of wigging out today. This looks so stunning, and actually it's going to go along really well with the blush that I have on today. I really don't even need this because that blush has that sheen to it anyway, but I'm going to use it. Okay, I think the one that I'm going to use is the one down here. It's called Metallic Golden Peach. Super pretty and peachy, and I think it'll complement what I've already got going on. This highlighter better knock my socks off, just saying. I barely touched that to my skin. Okay. Do you see that? Wow. How do I still get excited over shiny powder? I don't know, but I do, and this is yummy. I can't stop looking at myself in the monitor. I know that sounds so vain, but I'm just staring at the highlighter. Look at that. That is stunning. Oh my goodness. Do I know when to quit? No, I don't. Oh my gosh, that's pretty. Okay, wow. I thought that I was going to regret this purchase. I thought that I wasn't going to be like all that impressed with it. I was wrong. I was wrong. I'm sorry, Dior. I'm sorry I judged you like that. So just a little bit ago, I got done watching Morgan Turner do like the luxury highlighters that have been released recently and her favorites, and she swatched them all and was talking about all of them, and this was one of the ones that she was talking about. And she said it was a good highlighter. She was not lying. She had me wanting all those highlighters, though. They all look so pretty. Man, like I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Stunning. Just absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I grabbed that. Now I want the rest of them. Thanks a lot, Dior. Okay, so that's everything that I bought from the Sephora haul. So what I'm going to do is throw on an eye look really quickly. Maybe we'll speed through that. And then I will go over my thoughts on, well, my first impressions of these products. We'll go ahead and recap. Okay, so for the eye makeup, I'm going to be using my Pat McGrath Labs Celestial Divinity palette. I haven't used this, I think, at all since I did my initial review or my initial like first impressions video. And I want to use this really pretty duochrome shade down here that shifts from like green to purple. And I'm going to be using the matte like light purple here and the darker purple here. It's just going to be something super simple since, you know, today's look was not about the eyes. So let's go ahead and get into this eye look. I actually did a look really similar to this a while ago with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette. They've got a really similar shade in there that looks just like this. I forget the name of it. But I did a look pretty similar. It's such a unique shade. That is so pretty. I love that. I love the way that looks. I think that looks so pretty and different and just unique. And I'm digging it. And it was really simple. There really wasn't much to it. 3 shades. Done. Alright guys, so this is the finished look after I added a few more like little finishing touches. I say little. I did quite a bit. I took the Terra Moon single in the shade Lunar Spectrum for that little highlight in the inner corner there. I like what that does for the overall eye look. It just gives it this extra pop. Love that. I used the ColourPop Cream Gel Eyeliner in the shade Crybaby. It's just a really beautiful, like, pastel lilac shade. And it complements purple eye looks really well. So that's what's there. I used the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara for my mascara. For my lips, I used the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Bumble. And then I filled in with the Charlotte Tilbury Rose Jewel Gloss. This gloss is so... It just makes your lips look juicy and wet. It's got these little tiny glitter particles in it, but you can't feel them, so it's not gritty. The gloss isn't super, like, sticky or anything like that. I really like this. Did I do anything else? I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's going to wrap up this video. So I'm just going to recap really quickly over my initial first impressions on these products. I've had the foundation on now for about 3 hours, I guess. I am starting to get like a little bit oily right down the center of my face, right in that T-zone area, but that's typical. It doesn't overemphasize the texture and fine lines and all that any more than any other foundation typically would. So in that regard, I'm not hating on that. I do know if I'm going to be wearing this, I better keep a powder on hand with me so I can blot as the day goes on, or blotting paper, something like that. But overall, I do think it smoothed my skin. I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury powder also aided in that, made my skin look really smooth and kind of airbrushed. I think my 2 favorite things out of everything that I applied today was the Dior Face Glow palette. I couldn't get over the glow and how beautiful it looked when I applied this to my skin. And it just looks... stunning. Like, I absolutely love this. I'm so glad I have this. Actually, you know what? This entire routine was, it was kind of a hit. Like, I don't have any one thing that I really dislike. I would say out of all the products that I tried so far today, the only one that I'm not, like, completely floored by would be the Becca Under Eye Corrector. I don't really feel like it did a whole lot for me. I mean, I guess it added a little bit of luminosity, but as far as actually correcting, I don't think it really did that. I think the concealer did that. I don't know about the corrector. So those are my initial thoughts on the products that I used. The concealer, the Hourglass Concealer, does a really good job covering. It's super heavy, like it's super full coverage. So if you're not looking for that, you're probably not going to like this very much. And it does dry down matte, and it dries quick. So I wouldn't say it's my favorite formula, but it definitely covers and it conceals for sure. So I don't hate it. It's just not like my favorite product out of this try on today. The Fenty Beauty bronzer, I'm a fan. I really, really like this shade for me. This shade is just perfect for my skin tone. It's not too warm. It's not too cool. It is literally the perfect bronzer shade. So I'm stoked that I finally picked that up. Alright, so that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you made it this far and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave today. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.